Hey, Dr. Uhrmacher here. Wanted to respond to some of the emails and questions that I've been getting because I've shared a couple of results videos, more like case studies, where the most recent one was Dr. Anthony, where he was not ranked anywhere. If you're looking at the screen, he wasn't anywhere in the search at all. First 10 pages, he just didn't even show up for the search chiropractor in his town. And then what I did over the course of just, I don't even know if it was a couple of months, took him from not even showing up to the number 3 spot. And obviously that's kind of one of the things. So people then ask me, that's like, well, what exactly do you do when it comes to my services? And I guess the best answer for you is I do whatever it takes. But I want to show you what the goal of it is. And I say the goal because when you're dealing with Google, you can do everything right, and Google still gets to determine what happens with that. So I do whatever it takes to get new patients for a chiropractor's practice. So that comes across as Google with the maps, with the organic. We use reputation, we use Facebook. But in short, when you look at a search here, now this is Chiropractor St. Pete, and you're going to see here, these are the first 3 ads. I actually outsource when it comes to AdWords because that's a whole different animal. But I got a great guy for that. If you're looking for someone in AdWords, then definitely hit me up and I will put you in touch with him. What I aim to do, because it is gets the vast majority in the local search, which you're a local business, and that's going for the rankings in the maps. Because this is what people see, it's a local listing. Now, obviously the number 1 spot is where you want to be. Research has shown that 39% of the people will click on this listing, and I'm going to touch on that more in a second. So that is the ultimate goal. But again, I can do everything right, everything that we think Google wants to be done, and they won't give me that spot. Sometimes it just happens. The other things that we like to do is obviously get all the organic listings that are not local. The best I've done is get 9 out of the 10 first spots for a chiropractor when it comes to that. So those are the ideal things, is number 1, get to this spot because you garner a bunch of the clicks. The next one is getting as many of these other spots with your website, with your Yelp page, with a Facebook page, a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, and try and get as many of your other properties listed on page 1 of Google for your search. Because when that happens, obviously you get clicks, and then the next thing comes into play, which is reputation. More and more and more people are taking a look at this, and they're going to come here, and if they do a search for Chiropractor St. Pete, they look at this. No reviews, 2 reviews, and now they see 20 reviews. Who do you think they choose? A vast majority of the time, they're going to click here instead of these 2. So we focus on getting you on page 1 in the maps, and then we focus a lot on reputation. You just got to give them that overwhelming proof that you're the right place. And this even comes into play. I don't know that this doctor here, Gentle Touch, let's say his name is Dr. Smith, but let's say that even when you get a referral from one of your other patients and they say, hey, I see Dr. Smith, you should check him out. And they're like, oh, great, do you have a phone number? He's like, no, just Google it. So what do? They Google it, and it shows up differently. Obviously, it shows up for the chiropractor himself. But if they were to see Dr. Smith in this spot and he has no reviews, fewer of those people will choose you. So your reputation online is your currency, even for a referral practice. It's just such a huge component. And that goes for your other listings as well, your Yelp, your Facebook, all the other ones that allow reviews. The more reputation you have, the better off you're going to be. More people are going to choose you. So we really focus on reputation and reviews a lot as well, because that's the conversion side of it. So we go after the rankings and we go after reputation. Now, here's something that just came out actually in the last day or 2, is they're looking to change something. So when someone says, well, what do? I also keep up with whatever happens. They're looking at putting a paid ad in this #1 spot, and then either 1, 2, or 3 organic map listings. So in this, not only would it be ads here, and I don't know if they will change the top and keep these ads as well, but they would put an ad in this first spot, so you could actually pay to be in that first spot. Now here's the difference is, people know an ad from an organic listing, so they know you're paying to be there. It doesn't mean it's not a good idea. You can really scale with a paid ad, but it's not the same as organic. So that's something they're flirting with. So when it comes to what do, I keep up with what's happening and what needs to make changes to get on that. Also create content and share content for getting people, because here's what happens. When it comes to this ranking, here is Google, and someone's going to put in a search, and let's say it's chiropractor St. Pete. Google goes out when it comes to this local in the maps, and they find the one that has the most authority, and they point them back, and then they rank them based off of that. Same thing with that, with the organics, is they do a search and who they determine. Now, in order to get that authority, you have to have great content. You have to get stuff that's shared, stuff that has engagement, and that all points back to you and says, hey, people really like this, so that's gonna be one of the equations to getting them ranked. And so the more things I can point back to you, and you even get patients from this. I have one doctor in Tucson that has never, ever been on page 1 in the Google search. He had someone else working on his stuff previous to me for like almost 2 years, and he wasn't satisfied with the results. But I can't undo some of those things that previous company did. So he never ranks on page 1. But what we do is we create a lot of great content in all these different places. He's great at video testimonials, and so we promote all these other things, and they all point back to him, and he gets 70 plus patients a month from all those other things without being on page 1. So when you ask, what do? I do what needs to be done to get new patients for that. And I know there's a lot of chiropractors that are in that same boat. They've been with other people that are canned things that they do the exact same for someone else, and it does not get the results. Google doesn't like it canned. They want you to treat them like the king or queen that they are, and treat them well with those original pieces of content. Again, I mentioned we use Facebook ads, love video ads right now for getting people over to see your stuff. And so here's the other thing as well, when it comes to what I do, I have video tutorials of absolutely everything I do. I've actually taken a doctor through the process, and I've recorded all of it, and all of it's on Facebook or on YouTube on my channel for free. So why would someone want me to do it for them? Because that's really where I come into play. It's a done for you is the only time I do anything. Because it works when you do it. So you can take everything that I teach and you could do it. What happens is there's some consistency lost. I have a team that I actually brought together. I don't do all of this stuff. I love the strategy and I love keeping up with what needs to be done. And then I find the people that are fantastic in those areas and bring them together. And so let's say that you have all these same tools, which you do with my videos. You might do them and you start getting some results, and then all of a sudden life gets in the way. And so now you quit doing them. And you look back on it 6 months later and you're like, I haven't been doing it. That's why I'm not getting your patients. That's really the magic of what I do, is my team does it consistently day after day after day after day. And so it works and it builds. I mean, you want to compare it to a chiropractic adjustment. Does an adjustment one time work? It can remove that subluxation and it gets some results, right? But what happens when you continue to build on that and you stay frequent and you get checked and you get checked and you get checked and you get adjusted when it's needed, then you see those greater and increasing results. It's not a one-time thank you and we're done and I'm going to get hundreds of new patients. That's not the way it is. So the real magic of what I do is I stay consistent with what's changing, what has to happen, and I bring in a team of really great people to do it for you so that you get results over time and you stay at the peak of what you can absolutely be doing. So if that's what you want, if you want to get the peak performance out of your practice when it comes to getting new patients online, then give me a shout. My phone number, website's going to be on there. I prefer just give me a call. We can chat about your individual situation because everyone's individual. There is no canned one size fits all for this. So we kind of have to find out what you've already done, what's been done. Sometimes we have to look into what's been screwed up, how much we can do. If you're in smaller areas, you're going to get fewer new patients. It's just, that's a fact. When you're in a bigger area, you can get more new patients. So give me a shout, 402-631-7731. Let's talk about your individual situation. And if that's something that you just need more new patients, I won't take on a client unless I can get them at least 10 new patients per month. And we look at that just by what you got going on already, the size of your area. And if I'm not right for you, then I'm going to tell you what I would recommend for you and send it on your way. And you can still follow all my tutorials on YouTube. All right? So let me know if you have any questions. 402-631-7731. We'll talk to you soon.